What's going on there, Twisted Vapors, Rebel Vapors, YouTube land? How we all doing this fine day? James the Vaping Trucker here coming at you. Quick little review. Today we've got the Hexohm version 3. This is on loan to me from Chris over at Rebel Vapor Lounge. There'll be a link down to his Facebook page down below. Interesting. It's kind of small but kind of not. Easy to handle, tall. There's a couple things that I don't like about it. We'll go over those later on. But not a bad little device. Surprisingly, it's actually pretty durable. It's got a decent powder coat finish to it. I know over there at Craven Vapors and that, they've actually taken it and they threw it across the floor and showed that it wasn't scratched. I've had it here in the truck. I've used it some, not really a whole lot. Like I said, this is Chris's pride and joy. He likes this so much. But as you can see, you've got the Hexohm logo here, serial number, and the version. Back cover, there's nothing. That side, you got the petriometer, fire button, nothing. There's the main logo's missing. Take the battery cover off and show you both sides simultaneously here. And that. Yep. It doesn't have the big Hexohm logo. They know about it. They said, yep, it was one that should not have shipped, and it did anyway. And my buddy Chris over there at Rebel Vapor Lounge was lucky enough. He's the guy that got it. So, but on that note, let's go down, take a quick look at it. We'll come back up. We'll talk about it. We'll vape on it. Give you my insights on it. Tell you what I think about it. So, climb on down out of those trucks. Let's take a walk around the Hexohm version 3. Alright, here we go with the Hexohm V3. Not a bad little powder coat job they've got on here. And that it's pretty durable, holds up pretty decently. They've done it all the way around this side here. They got the version on here, 3.0, serial number 3737. There's the other side. It's a nice textured box. As you can see with this one here, that's the only Hexohm marking on this one. It's not anywhere else on the box. It is known it wasn't supposed to be shipped, but it was. It is what it is. But anyway, paint job's real nice. Battery cover, you see a little bit of room in there. I guess you can consider that for venting. You can stick your nail in there. The magnets hold real well, and that it doesn't get them on there. It doesn't shake. No vibrations or anything like that. There's the battery sled. The battery sled could probably be a little bit cleaner. Still looks a little bit rough. And that, you got the little ribbon that they put in there. They've got it marked positive here, negative down here. And that these are spring loaded here. And as you can see, they don't really move a whole lot. They are pretty tough, hard to move. So they hold pretty well. Negative up here on this side, positive down here. This little button here, it's an on-off switch. You push it in, you can kind of see there, it looks like a shallow button. That's on, it'll fire. Push it again and it comes out a little bit further. Now it will not fire. So it's a nice little feature they put in there, a little on-off switch. Not bad, but like I said, a couple of screws up here. I'm not going to take this apart because like I said, this is not mine. This is just on loan to me. You can see right here it says Craving Vapor. But like I said, it looks it could be a little bit cleaner, a little bit smoother look. But it is what it is. This here, you can see where it's kind of got like a polished, or they started to polish it but didn't quite finish. You can see a lot of the machining in there. And you can actually feel it surprisingly. You would think that they'd have this smoothed out pretty good. But in a couple of these spots, you can actually feel the machining. You got a couple magnets up there, a couple down here. And that line up with the screws, and the screws is actually what holds them in place. So you got magnets on one side and little screws on the other side to hold the battery cover on. But there's no rattle or anything. Button is definitely clicky. If you listen, definitely a clicky button. So that's nice, easy to find. I would have liked it a little bit smaller. Just kind of, to me, it feels a little bit awkward, especially if you're holding it and you fire it. When you push it in, you can feel this little area around here. You can actually feel that with your finger, whether you trigger it, you thumb it, and you know, it don't matter which finger I use, even my pinky. You know, I can feel that. For me, that's a little uncomfortable for my liking, but that's just my personal preference. Make sure we put that back in there. And that you've got down here the petrometer here, and that you do need a coin or a screwdriver or something to turn it. There is a little bit of resistance, not a whole lot, but wherever you put it at, it will stay. It doesn't move at all, which is nice. It'll stay there. And that you can kind of adjust your wattages this way, and it'll hold pretty good. That doesn't turn around. Like I said, there's a little bit of resistance to it. Got your 510 up here. Now it looks like they did try to mill it. It is fairly flush. I've been running the recoil on this, which now has a piece of dog hair on it from the pup. And that, but it looks fairly flush. I mean, there's a little tiny gap, but I can't get a fingernail in there. You're not going to get my screwdriver won't even fit in there, but it's just a real small gap in that, but nothing too major, too bad about it. So that everything does actually sit pretty flush. As I drop my recoil on the floor. That's smart, wasn't it? Well, grab a towel here because I left some juice on it. Wipe it off real quick. And at the 510 pin inside of here, and that it's copper coated, or I believe it's copper coated, and that self-adjusting, but it's sloppy. Okay, watch. See how much it moves around in there? It is a sloppy pin. Okay. I've seen devices where that is a lot stiffer and doesn't move around that much, but that is quite sloppy. I think that could possibly cause problems for somebody, but it is self-adjusting. It's spring-loaded. Really about all I can really say about it. There's not much to it. It comes just like this in a cardboard box. Doesn't really come with any directions or anything else. Size comparison wise, I've got the Lux right here. You know, width wise they look pretty close. Height wise, the Hexohm is just a little bit taller, just a little bit, not much, but you know, that's how it compares with the Lux. Got my Lost Vapes Triad here. You know, you can definitely see it's taller than a Triad. Triad obviously is wider, and length, well, they're pretty close to the same lengthwise, but obviously it is taller than my Triad. So that's about all I got with me at the moment I can actually compare size wise, but there you go. Not really much to it, pretty basic. It's a pretty solid device. works pretty good. I haven't had any issues with it. I know I borrowed this from Chris over at Rebel Vapor Lounge. This is his baby, his pride and joy. He's had no issues with it. He has loved it. Like I said, the button for me, pushing it again, it's just a little uncomfortable feeling. It's almost like there's a second button I gotta push. And then just that 510 in there, just as much as it, just, oop, not the camera around, dingy. Just as much as it moves around. Just, to me, not really. I mean, look at the Lux. I don't get the side to side. It's like the Triad here. You know, Triad, little tiny bit. But this one here, I mean, it moves. As I just scratch it, it moves quite a bit. You know, not a fan of that whatsoever. Think they could have done this a little bit better on that. But otherwise, it's not bad. Not a bad little device. Not much more I can really say about it. There ain't much to it. So, go back up. We'll vape on it. We'll talk about it. See you guys back in the rig. Alright, welcome back up. There you go. It's the Hexohm V3. I've got the recoil sitting on it and vaping me some peach yogurt from Lady Boss Vapors. A little bit about the Hexohm here real quick. Let's pull it up here. Let's see. Maximum output of it, 180 watts. They say the 510 connection is milled out of stainless steel. So it looks like it's a stainless steel mill with a copper coating just for the conductivity. The potentiometer and that is marked in number 10 increments, and that's so each one of these is 10. I guess is what they mean by that. The output voltage, it says, is from 3 volts to 6 volts, and that with a maximum wattage of 180. Okay, so 180 watts if you turn it all the way up. The chipset, yeah, 180, 0.1 ohm minimum. If it's below 0.1 ohm, it will not fire. If the batteries get down close to 3 volts between the two, it won't fire. If the switch is off, it won't fire. They say they didn't put a screen on it to help improve battery efficiency. Okay, now I'm not running the best of batteries in here. I've got an older set of LGs and that with a cheap little rewrap on them. I can get about 4 or 5 hours, and I'd say I'm probably vaping 110, maybe 120 watts. So it's out there a little bit. It is 103 millimeters tall, 51 millimeters wide, 27 millimeters thick, and that. But that's about all they really say on it. So that's the dimensions, everything about them. Like I said, the button, to me, the button feels funny. You know, you push it all the way down in there, and yeah, it feels like it's got to push even further, even though it doesn't. You know, but that's just my personal take on it. The 510, like I said, to me, I think that 510 should have sat a little bit tighter. To me, it just seems too loose. I see that could possibly be an issue somewhere down the line. Maybe not, but I could see it as possibly being an issue. The potentiometer, it does hold real well. How reliable it is as far as its setting, I don't really know. I don't have the equipment to test that. Like I said, I think I've got about 110, 120 watts. I could probably turn it up higher because it doesn't seem as hot as I'm normally used to. But it's still comfortable. I'm still happy with it. It's fairly comfortable to hold. I wish it had a little bit better of a texture or something. You know, you drip a little bit of juice or something on it, and it does feel a little slippery. Although it doesn't feel like you're going to drop it. I normally hold it with my pinky underneath it anyway, but you know, I've got big old hands. So, take another vape here. Oh, that peach yogurt's good. But anyway, I guess it's not too bad of a device. It's not something I myself would run out and buy. Like I said, just with that 510 just seems a little iffy to me. But if you're interested in one, when I get better connections, I'm not doing everything through my phone and I can hook the laptop up through the internet. I'll put a link to Craven Vapors if you're interested in ordering one. The versions 3s are still running about $190. So they're still up there in price. It is quite expensive of a device. Um, I'll put a link to my Facebook down below. I'll put a link to Rebel Vapor Lounge down below. And I'll put a link to Lady Boss Vapors e-juice line down below. Otherwise, yeah, not much to it. Not much to this video. Don't really know what else I can really say. Yeah, it's not something I myself would run out and buy. You know, maybe if I get it in a shiny purple or something. You know, purple's my favorite color. I'd give it some serious thought then. But you know, you're looking almost $200 for this. I can't bring myself to do it. To me, that's just seems a little bit high to me. Um, but it is a sturdy device. It does seem pretty reliable. All I can do is give you my opinion. You take it for what it's worth. On that note, y'all take it easy out there and stay safe. Keep the shiny side up. Keep the greasy side down. And on that note, y'all stay twisted. We'll catch you next time.